Want to hear another creepy story? Let's go. So, this happened, I think, 15 years or so ago when my grandfather passed away. In my culture, the dead are cremated and their elaborate ceremonies are performed. The body carried by people while chanting the name of a Hindu god, Ram, after it had been cleaned, clothed, and some ceremonial colors were put on it. I was never very close to my grandfather. I barely remember ever having much to talk with him, but my parents say I used to talk to him a lot as a child. Anyway, when he died, I didn't really know much about him other than that he was a patriarch of the family and everybody respected him. I was barely 10 years old then and was supposed to stay at an aunt's house. Sneaky that I was. I managed to follow my mother when she left for my grandfather's house, unaware that I was a few steps behind her. Anyway, the ceremony starts. There's a lot of crying. Soon, four people, including my father, my uncles, and someone I cannot now remember, carry the body on the top of the structure made of bamboo and wood. They chant throughout the way. Nobody noticed that I was following them. They reach the cemetery. There's a lot of crying. I got bored standing at the distance. It's almost dusk, and sit weirdly on a nearby platform. I would later come to know that it is sort of a memorial for the deceased. Sometime between all this happening, I fell asleep. Hours go by, and when I wake up, there's no one. Just the last flames burning through pieces of wood. I panicked. I looked around to see if anyone was there. No one was there. I start running towards the pyre, hoping perhaps some of my relatives might spot me by the fire and get a hold of me. Again, no one. I started crying. I was scared. I look around to see if I can find my way to the street. The cemetery was on the outskirts of the town, and it was huge to my tiny mind. Rows after rows of these memorials I mentioned earlier. It's almost dark, and I can hear animals howling in a distance. While all this is happening, I have a creepy feeling that I'm being watched. It sends a shiver down my spine, and to this day, I don't remember ever being so shit scared. And mind you, I was young. It was such a dark and nauseating feeling, a sense of an impending doom. I cried louder and I started running. Little did I know I was running deeper into the cemetery, farther from the road that would take me home. I reach the edge of the open ground and catch my breath near the tree line. I can hear faint voices coming from beyond the silhouette of the trees in front of me. Perhaps someone might be returning after gathering wood from there. I am again hit with this nauseating feeling, and it's stronger now. To top it all off, every time I walk or run, it felt like I could hear footsteps, like someone was right behind me. I turned around several times, yet found no one. I was so afraid at that point, I thought I might die. I took a leap of faith and ran towards the trees. The sound of footsteps behind me grew louder. It seemed like whoever it was near was almost at arm's length, like they could reach out and catch a hold of me. I'm audibly sobbing and shouting for help. There's barely any light, but I remember hearing people in the distance. Suddenly, I'm in a clearing, and I see there's a community pond with a bathing area. I can see some people in my family, and I ran towards. No matter how loud I tried to cry, there was no sound coming out of my mouth. Finally, an aunt saw me and ran towards me. The last thing I remember before fainting is a hand on my shoulder and my body almost freezing on the spot. I was sick for a week after that. I had nightmares for years and in general stopped going to my grandfather's house altogether, or I didn't even go to the town. To this day, I find it difficult sleeping in the dark and sometimes wake up with a cold sweat and a creepy feeling on my shoulder like someone was holding on to me. That's the story.